And we're live. Welcome to another episode of Inside the Courtyard. This is going to be a mid-Jan update, slightly over midway, because to be honest, it wasn't that eventful. So uh,
Well,
let's 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 get into the politics side of things. You got any major updates? Anything happened in the past? What is it? 18 days?
there's still some rumors regarding Jack Ma, and okay, I didn't think we'd have to drag this for so long. Like, I really didn't think this would be news for that long. But hey, like, calm down with Jack Ma. Like, this is all I have to say. Like, calm down. He isn't dead. He isn't jailed as of yet. So take it easy. Okay, he's gonna pop out at some point. Just calm down. Like, with the rumors, like, oh, he bailed, he left China with his passports and shit. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Just remember, like the other case, the Interpol guy, what was his name? Like Meng Hongwei.
Yeah.
Yeah, Meng Hongwei. Yeah, he left France on his own accord to go to go back to China to be jailed. Like, come on, like, there's so much more at stake than just Jack. Like, if he decides to leave, like, bro, this is family style. They're gonna go after his family. Everything is gonna be like, they're gonna take all of his assets. He's gonna be not ruined, of course, not ruined, but like, it's a huge trade-off. So and he's very well known. So escaping, escaping China like this is gonna be hard. Like,
Oh
maybe
man.
his wife, maybe, yeah, maybe, a big maybe. But usually people are able to leave or bail like this are people that are very unknown, like a few, like, deputy mayor from a random city or stuff like that. Like, okay, maybe, because we don't know your face. But Jack Ma has a very, you know, you know, like, when you see him,
And
and
if he
you know
showed
it's
up
Jack Ma.
anywhere, if he showed up anywhere, they would have picked it up right away. It would have been reported. So, yeah.
Yeah, and that would be a conscious decision to never ever come back on Chinese soil, like, never ever. So, again, big gamble, and it's a huge trade off. So, again, Jack Ma is not dead or anything. He's being very extensively interrogated, and that's just how business goes. So
Okay.
maybe just
Well,
calm down on that, because, like, it's so annoying to see newsfeed talking about Jack Ma all the time. It's like, where is he? Just these men, like, god damn, just let it be, let it rest. Like, just
you
shush a
know,
little.
it's even like people who have it's like channels on YouTube and shit that have nothing to do, never covered anything China related, are like jumping on this train now. Like, bro,
Yeah,
this is they're milking it. But to be fair, like again,
there's nothing to milk. He's
for
gonna
all
reappear at some point. That's it.
for all
And
intents
if
and
he
purposes, it's not that interesting from our point of view. So
no, it's just annoying. Like this, like, where is he? Where is he? Like, what do you mean? Where is he? Like, did you forget that years, and like, it happens almost every few years? Some people just randomly disappear and they reappear. Like, but now it's Jack. You pay attention. Like, where were you, like, before? And then when Fan Bingbing reappeared, like, oh yeah, she was just under investigation. Yeah, no shit. Like, like, come on, like, just
okay.
it's so sad. Anyway, but the second thing I had was maybe a follow up on what we talked about on episode number one. Uh, so our yearly review. So you remember I said, like, the party. Oh, Xi Jinping claimed a victory over poverty, absolute
Oh,
poverty.
this
Oh yeah,
again?
oh yeah, this again. Because, like, I was reading, and then early January, he was like, okay, we're gonna have a 5 year transitional period. I was like, oh, this is good. This is good. So there's gonna be a 5 year transitional period to which they're gonna, like, not they're gonna reduce subsidies and poverty alleviation funds for cities and provinces, but for 5 years. So what does that tell you? Is like, Oh man, like no, like this is an admission of failure right there. When I see when I read that, I was like, 5 years to establish. So after the establishment of the victory over poverty, if alleviation, I was like, I don't know.
Wait, so they're going to take 5 years to phase out subsidies?
Apparently, that's how it's gonna go down.
Bro,
But
this shit's
then,
not going to work. This is not going
but
to
but
work.
but yeah, I know it's not gonna work. But like, people like, okay, this statement is like literally saying that she maybe talked a little bit too fast in December, saying like, oh yeah, we won against absolute poverty, and then you just start to backtrack. It's like, yeah, we're gonna need a 5 year transitional period to like make sure everything is good. And people are like, yeah, but like, if you just change the definition of who is poor, who is not poor, and if you can't get the real data, this will still be an issue in 5 years. So best case scenario, you're saying that now, and you're trying to phase things out now, but you better have a plan for once the transitional period is over, because poverty won't be gone. So this is like, and the sad part is this comes in like early 2021 as we're preparing for the 100th anniversary of the party.
Oh,
So
right.
yeah, you see, like I completely forgot about that, and a reporter reminded me last time I got interviewed. I was like, "What do you think about that?" I was like, "Oh yeah, shit, I completely forgot." Yeah, this year is gonna be it's gonna be tough because like they really have to push for achievements. This is the year they have to prove their value,
I mean,
and
finishing 2020 in like positive economic growth was 2.4%, I think.
sure,
That's pretty good. It's pretty decent. I mean, the fact that that even pulled off, because I think like I was like, man, if they break even, it's good. But 2%, 2.4, it's not bad. It's meager, but it's not bad.
it's meager. But you and I both know that the catalyst for 2.3, 2.4 is just public funds injecting for public infrastructure, public projects, and stuff like this.
Speaking,
Most
wait,
of
hold
it,
on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
uh,
On that note, so today, I think I can't remember which. I think Ministry of Finance might have reported it, but basically, the first issuance of local government debt this year from like places like Dalian and various local governments came out to be like 119 billion RMB. So what is that in US? Like what's the exchange rate now? Like 7.5 or something? Anyways,
no, it's
um
more than that.
anyways, point being, the the fine print on this was that all the new bonds they issued was used to repay old debt. So this just keeps churning that.
Like, yeah, this is sad. This is very sad. Oh man. And I remember also another thing I read recently, like I think Financial Times still raising the alarm about local debt. I was like, man, you're like decades. Like this is an outstanding problem. It's not from yesterday, like, but they frame it as, oh yeah, but because like they need to issue new bonds. It's like, yeah, but that's just business as usual. Don't
Yeah,
forget, like nobody has the feeling that they need to pay back these loans, so nobody cares really. Like it's just okay. I'm not gonna be mayor of this city anymore, so the next mayor can just handle the loans. That's just the way it is.
remember they're doing it, and they got called out by the IMF. The IMF said China needs to phase out fiscal support, rebalance towards growth, which is currently driven by public infrastructure spending, and
Yeah, no
consumption is
shit.
lacking. I mean, we knew this. It's kind of sad when the IMF starts calling you out, and I mean,
Oh yeah, when they start calling you out, it's very bad. And there's just one thing completely forgot. I don't know if you noticed or not, because maybe just to circle back a little bit on the not Jack Ma specifically, but Alibaba. Um, I don't know if you know, but like they started to roll out the anti-monopoly law and antitrust shit, and they said that oh, and that was very good because they talk about potential illegal activities, which is fair. I mean, yeah, kind of. And they said that the penalty could range from 1 to 10% of annual sales.
Oh man.
I was like, you realize that if, let's say, they want to be very mean and crank it up to 10%, that's like 51 billion renminbi. Like, do you realize that? And I recall because it was one of the deputy governor of the central bank who kind of like hinted at that. And I was like, oh Lord, they're really coming for blood. Like he really hinted. I was like, oh yeah, there's gonna be a penalty. I was like, oof, oof.
You know who is moving into the finance and like tech moving to finance area? Fucking ByteDance is moving into it. So
You mean like TikTok?
yeah, TikTok. They're apparently getting into the structured financing industry. I don't know why, but it's kind of just like asking yourself to be fucking shanked at this point. Like, why? Just stay away. Do tech. Don't move into this area that's being so heavily regulated and looked at by the party right now. It's just I don't know what they're doing. Anyways, it's pretty fucking dumb.
No, but like you remember, and this it's exactly what you told me about PayPal. Like PayPal moving in as Alibaba and Ant Financial are getting shanked. Like that was it's kind of a very bold move, considering again the environment, like especially the new regulations being rolled out. It's like, why? Like I get that maybe short-term profit, like it's good, but I mean, there's no reason to go there right now. You should wait until the laws are definitive, clear, and you know what you can and cannot do.
Yeah, it's not clear if they're gonna do the more shady shit that like Ant Financial was doing. So like a lot of the P2P microloan shit. So far it looks like the PayPal platform is literally just to process payments, which even then, like if I have Alipay or WeChat Pay on my phone, why would I download yet another payments app? So I don't know what they're doing. This doesn't make any sense. I mean,
But the same thing could be said for ByteDance. Like, why would you want your money to be proceed through ByteDance?
yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're getting into the consumer like payments processing, consumer lending. I think it seems to be more like corporate and or larger size financing. But at the same time, again, why would I want it to be done by ByteDance when there's so many better firms to do this shit? So, yeah, no clue, man. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. What else is interesting? Let me see. Dufry. Have you heard of this company? DUFRI.
I mean, I've heard that before, but not specifically.
They apparently signed a what is this? Let me see. A
Oh,
duty-free.
okay, yeah. Dufry, yeah, it's duty free. Some,
Yeah,
yeah.
so they signed a duty-free agreement with Hainan to set up like a duty-free zone in Hainan. So
But didn't you say before that the central government probably wouldn't give a license to a foreign-owned like duty-free uh, company?
I don't think they're. I don't know what the details of the agreement are, but like they're working with a Hainan government owned company to provide like duty free shit. So it's not
Okay,
like
so
they're yeah.
okay, the provincial company would buy from and then would implement duty free on its own soil,
Yeah, most
not
likely.
to do. Okay, yeah. It makes sense. It actually makes sense. I
Yeah.
get that.
Okay, another thing interesting that came out today, we tweeted about it earlier, is that according to what the statistics, what is it, the Bureau of Statistics? What is it, Bureau Ministry? Anyways.
Central bureau doesn't matter. It's administration of statistics doesn't matter.
Yeah. Anyways, they said disposable income rose 4.7% nominally from 2019. And
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
we've been saying this since fall, summer, maybe.
You mean disposable income?
Yeah, we were talking about how like I think it was like a 16% drop or something like that. So I don't know where they got this fucking 4.7% nominal increase from. This is wild. This is absolutely wild. And this
Because
is
like inflation is rising hard on like core like core items, like anything a food stuff is
yeah.
like my god, in some region it's outrageous, and it's really going to divide between the people who have money and people who actually who have nothing and will have even less after the fact. And people in like I quarantine zones, price of food is exploding, so like disposable income, bro, you're out of your mind.
Yeah, supposedly. Let me see. Disposable income, yeah, 4.7% nominally. So if you factor out inflation, that's really like just 2%.
But that's still a lot
Yeah,
because people have
this
been
is
out of jobs, and you know that the Chinese government is not handing out like uh any form of relief directly to the citizenry. So I don't get where that money would come from. I don't get it.
yeah, I mean it's nominal growth. And
But two
I think
percent is a lot.
I mean they haven't released what the actual real growth is. I don't think they would because that's going to make themselves look bad. So I don't think they will.
Yeah, no, of course
Um,
it would. But
but it
like
seems
you're
to be
going from an yeah.
if primarily I reckon it's probably driven by the people in the export and like manufacturing sector, right? Because all that demand is driving up wage costs, wages there. So, but then if that's driving the entirety of disposable income, man, that's going to be bad because that means the
Of course.
distribution is absolutely awful. And
Yeah, it means that people are like us, like right outside of the East Coast zone and the Southeast are like in deep shit.
oh, for sure. And I mean, Chinese New Year starting in like what 2 weeks basically. So
This is gonna be a nightmare. Like this is, oh man. And they said like there's gonna be restrictions. Like you remember last year there were already restrictions, and it happened amidst all of that. Like this year people have learned, and I think I'm expecting roguery like all across the board this year.
yeah, they some places are paying people not to go home, and I was like, this is not going to fly well. This is like Americans and Thanksgiving. Like you can tell them all you want, they're still going to go.
Oh, and I also like read that in let's say more closed production units, especially in Guangdong and Fujian stuff, places like that. Like the business have implemented a policy, quote unquote, like celebrate here.
Oh,
So
bro.
like don't leave the dorm, like celebrate where you are. And as far as they're concerned, this is also not flying very well with the workers. They're not very happy about that.
Yeah, unless the central government actually says there's no travel, which I don't think they will, because bro, that's like revolt levels of dissatisfaction. So I don't know what they're gonna do, man. I think and you already have like with Northeast, where is it? Shenyang, I think.
Oh
That's
yeah, Shenyang is really not good right now. Not good.
and somewhere in Jidian, I think I can't remember, but somewhere in the northeast
Well,
three provinces is some this massive lockdown and shit. So
right now what you have is Shenyang. You have, which is also known as the toilet of the toilet of the province by some. You have Dalian. You also have like Shijiazhuang in Hebei. Another big one should be. Let me think. I think this one. Where some places in Heilongjiang are still really like not good, and the problem is now is the weather mixed with that. This is gonna take biblical proportion very soon, and this is gonna be bad because like have to wait in the cold to be tested. So this is a recipe for disaster. When you think that drinking cold water is like already the kryptonite of 99% of people living in China, like going back to cold weather, it's gonna be bad.
yeah, this is oh man, this is not good. So what are they gonna do? They're just lock down the three provinces plus Hebei. So nobody, I mean, it was Beijing. Like people can't go in and out, right? Beijing is pretty
No,
much yeah. So
even with the passport, even with the QR codes and and proving the test, it's extremely difficult.
Dude, they're not solving this within like 2 weeks, and people are going to start moving in 2 weeks.
Yeah, but you
So,
know that 2 weeks is like, you know how reliable tests are, and that's why they implemented the 14+7. And people are like, oh,
oh,
this is
hold
just
on,
for good measures. I was like, no, it's not for good measures. It's because the tests are unreliable, you dipshit. Like,
hold on that. I just saw today they're doing 14 plus 7, and the last 7.
oh wow,
So the last 7 days aren't quarantine, but like strict
no.
medical observation. So
This exudes confidence from like the testing and stuff. I was like, wow. So basically, we are 28.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Yo, this is bad. This is very bad.
yeah, and uh, this is I don't understand it. Like, what's wrong with the tests? Why is it something like the test
No, it's not.
itself?
No, I mean, it depends. It really depends. Some, like, there are issues regarding the tests themselves, but if you know how they proceed to testing, you know it can be problematic to detect where people are and who's having COVID or not, who's testing positive, because they do like batches of tests. So they test, like, let's say a full district. So 10, 20,000 people in one sample. So if you have one hit, you need to retest and retest and retest. So of course, the more you test, the more you're likely to have false positive or false negatives. And there's the issue of the test themselves. Sometimes the test might just not be reliable. So
Yeah,
mix that in. 14+7 was the explanation. Like, it was the answer. It's like, okay, we know we might be doing it not very good, but like +7 should help. And now you're saying +7+7, and this is sending a signal that local governments are having a very hard time managing the situation. And 28 days is just to buy time to implement additional measure of containment or quarantine around additional cities, or give them time to do blockades. Like, they didn't have time to do that in Wuhan. Like, they did that on the go. Like, as they were moving, they were implementing stuff. That's why people were able to flee and like bypass some measures very easily. But now, if you do 14+7+7, 28 days to implement more measures, I mean, you have time to mobilize police or armed police or anyway, more of this the surveillance apparatus to help you out. But again, this speaks to a very low efficient structure.
is how many do you think are actually false positive? Like, is it? Do you think it's like what I'm struggling to understand is like, okay, you have false positives, and then if they get one positive, and they tend to overreact, right? So if they get one positive,
Yep.
and they just go batshit and fucking
And then they
lock,
retest, they retest, they retest
yeah,
up
and
until they find where the case is. And if it's a false positive, I mean, there can be false negative. But I remember there was a story of the dude, he got tested 11 times and he didn't
yeah,
have COVID.
yeah, and then he got
Like, think
tested
about that.
positive on the
Oh,
15th day.
there was another case of a lady, I think that's also in Dalian, who had COVID but was just at home all the time. So it was like, how do you explain that case? And I'm not even sure if it was a false positive or not, but they were really puzzled to explain, like, how did that lady get it? I was
Oh,
like, eh.
bro, that's like that Canadian couple who had no travel history and somehow got the
And
UK
then they had
straight.
the new, yeah, exactly, exactly, bro. Somebody coughed and then just tornado.
That is
I mean,
wild, man.
it is, and it's really hard to say. So add that to now poor weather and inability to contain properly, and you can expect winter to be very, very long and tedious for local governments, especially in the northern regions. So Liaoning, Jilin, Heilongjiang, expect also Inner Mongolia to be like, it's gonna be wild at some point, because
And they're not allowing, are they? What's the rule on like family gatherings? Because that's a big one, right? Or are they doing anything about that?
I'd have to check honestly. But I think it's really about proximity because they really want to avoid people moving from city to city and sometimes counties to counties. That one is going to be a hard one to control, man. Really hard. Counties to counties, like you have a strong surveillance apparatus, but like not that strong. So yeah, containing counties to counties is going to be really a big problem. Provinces to provinces will be, I think they can handle that. Large cities, they can handle that, but counties, townships, like people on their motorcycles randomly going places, that's going to be tough, man. That's going to be very, very tough. Where there's only like a few representative of the street, like a few streets, or like a sub rural district, like with the red band, like the red band on the arm,
Oh
like
yeah.
bro, like what are you gonna do? Like, yeah, man, you're not gonna square up against the mob. Just take it easy. Take it easy.
Has there been any border clashes yet?
Yes, in Hebei, mad clashes.
Again? Wasn't it Hebei
Yeah,
last time?
yeah, it was last time when they reopened the bridge, but no, now the problem is like there's I think we tweeted about that, like people who left Beijing, during the last few years, and they bought houses in Hebei because renting and buying in Beijing is absolute ass. So they bought houses in like Guan, which is like, I don't know, 60 kilometers, something like that. Anyway, it's still not a great idea when you think about it, because like it's more than 1 hour traffic going in and out. So it's kind of like meh.
When it was
It you haven't thought that through. But
yeah.
anyway, yeah. So these people who work in Beijing and live in Guan, for example, are absolutely like they have no recourse. They're stuck. They can't work anymore. They can't leave. And this is just one problem. There's also the other problem. People that are stuck in the middle. For example, students who are not able to go to school nor able to go back home.
Oh
Some
man.
people have, in some places, people have started to sleep on the street. This is very bad, and especially because you're talking about, for example, Hebei. It's gonna get cold. Like it's not cold right now, although we've seen the cold waves and people have died like recently. Whoa, when it was 7 degrees outside, and like if people from the US listen to this, no, we're not talking about Fahrenheit. If it's 7 Fahrenheit, that's very fair. You're dead. But we're talking about 7 Celsius. At 7 Celsius, you're not gonna die. You're just dressed and you can sleep on the ground. And I mean, worst case scenario, you're just gonna feel puffy from the face. That's the worst case scenario.
Bro, let me remind you, these people died in their homes.
Yeah, you see, and technically Hebei counts as north, so they should have heat. Oh yeah, but I forgot. Oh man, I completely forgot. Yeah, there was a roll. Oh, there was blackouts.
Oh no.
Yes,
Because of I
yes,
was this
there were
month?
blackouts. Yes, there were blackouts, and I remember because was it? I think it was because of coal. Because I think they're supposed to start heating up at a certain time,
Yeah, November.
and yeah, but there were issues about cranking up the production and stuff like this. So I recall that people recently had blackouts and couldn't really like use the heater and stuff like this. So people started to complain about Li Keqiang directly on Weibo. So like why are you cutting the power right now? Because like we kind of need it now. It's cold. I was like, bro, you don't know what cold is, so just calm down. Like when we have a blackout here when it's like minus 40 outside, you're gonna
It's a
feel
wrap.
it within like minutes. You're gonna feel it minutes. But anyway, that's besides the point. But anyway, we know cold resistance. It's not their thing anyway. But what it means is that people some part are sleeping on the street, and Hebei is not a hot province, so that might become a problem at some point.
Yeah, this is not good. This is not good.
Because if you're telling me, for example, like you're stuck between a home and a school in Yunnan, I'd be like, I mean, it's not too bad. I mean, it's gonna
Just
be
chill.
chilly, but it's chill. It's relaxed. Speaking of Yunnan, one of my friends told me that he's been there recently, like I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, and not many people were wearing masks. It wasn't that bad.
Bro, the
I mean, when
fuck
you
you need to
get
wear masks in Yunnan for? You're in the mountains. You're good.
I mean, yeah, but like rules are rules anyway. Sanitation anyway. And he told me, he's like, he was just there. He was like, it's just like there was nothing happening here. I was like, oh, I mean, it's not bad, but like as soon as you go back to Beijing, it's like massive enforcement, QR code, health passport, verification of the test. I was like, man, that's just the way it is.
Bro, do you think gyms are open in Beijing?
I don't think so, but my friend is really annoying because he's posting pictures of him going to the gym, having spinning classes. I was like, man, like you're just taunting me so hard right now. This is just unfair.
Oh, what else happened? Let me think. Oh, fucking the three Chinese telecoms companies got delisted, stalled, and delisted again, all within the
Oh, and
space of like a week.
don't forget, Xiaomi is also on the block.
I don't understand that. That makes honestly no sense. I that made absolutely no sense. Like, okay,
And did you look at
China
the timing?
Mobile. What?
Did you look at the timing? Because I think it happened just a few days, or like maybe like 10 days after they announced their latest flagship phone. I was
Oh,
like
I don't know.
that's just weird.
But you could make a case like China Mobile, China Unicom, and China Telecom, sure. But like
Yeah,
Xiaomi, really? Like they make rice cookers, you know?
I think it's just about the sector itself that could be linked to the military apparatus, which is fair. But Xiaomi is really consumer oriented. Although maybe they have subsidiaries that are touching some form of maybe military tools or I don't know, who knows. But China Unicom, China Telecom, like this is absolutely fair game, absolutely fair game, and that should have been probably sanctioned or delisted much earlier. But Xiaomi, it's like sanctioning Huawei. Like like okay, like yeah, but they also produce some industrial stuff for the army. It's like, man, like this is
Bro,
rice cookers, like
no,
and
bro.
like kettles.
It'd be like sanctioning Black and Decker, bro.
Oh,
Like, yeah.
sanctioning Black and Decker. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean that's kind of disrespectful for Black and Decker because like respect to the Black and Decker. I mean,
Most reliable appliances. Yo, send us a sponsorship our way. We'll be happy to take for you.
but to be fair, it is massively reliable versus
Oh,
what
for
we
sure,
have now.
bro. I used a rice
But
cooker for a solid 5 years, didn't break.
oh, I bought a corrupt one, and I mean it still works, but like when you compare price versus utility, it's like I could have got like a $30 Black and anyway, that's besides the point. But like, yeah, the telecom sector is really uh, this is not going to go well, and the fact that Huawei is completely destroyed right now and really having issues on the even the domestic market, you're like, okay, so Xiaomi will pick up the pace, and now they're doing this. It's like, okay, so all the high end chips that they got for their new phones, so this is just what they have right now, and if they implement sanctions, it means that they will another phone company will need to pick up the pace to feed the domestic market. So
Yeah. I'm surprised they haven't sanctioned like Oppo, Vivo, because that's all part of the same group, right? That's all part of the Bubugao group. So
no,
I'm surprised they haven't done that. And if they do, my OnePlus is going to get sanctioned too. I can't buy their phones anymore.
and then you wonder like, okay, so if you do this, at some point you'll be like, okay, so if the phone, for example, iPhones are assembled in China, is that an issue? Like, is that a security issue? That could be. So like this is a very slippery slope, especially if they're just cell phone makers. That's going to be a big problem. If you're talking about the real telecom infrastructure, like we said, China Unicom, Telecom, I get it. I get it. It's like sanctioning Sony Ericsson. I get it. Sure. I mean, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you get it, but the phone, like, I'm a slightly bit more puzzled about that.
Yeah, to
And
me,
it's the same thing. Same thing for gold mining. Same thing. And I absolutely want to talk about that because this made me laugh so hard.
what the Canadian mine?
Oh man. So it was blocked for national defense reasons, and yet we got caught buying Noctec equipment. I was like,
Oh,
you guys are out of your mind. You guys are out of your mind. And the journalist was like, oh yeah, but maybe it's because of like the maritime routes in the Arctic. I was like, yeah, okay, maybe, but that would be fair because if I'm buying a piece of land in the middle of nowhere, I'm bringing cash to develop it, and I have to do it all on my own because like subsidies you provide are absolute dog shit. Yeah, I'm gonna bring in boats from like yeah, like yo, like and to see profitability, I would need to inject massive capital for infrastructure in this desert of ice and shit. Like, come on,
so
like of course they would want to use the waterways. Like, that's just fair.
so
And I was
the
like, yeah, but,
the
and the guy
background,
was like, the background.
yeah.
Oh, or possibly like Arctic defense or sovereignty over the Arctic. I was like, yeah, okay, I
No,
get
no, no.
it.
I mean, like the background to what this mine is about, because this was
Oh,
basically,
gold,
yeah. So it was a Shandong
Shandong
Gold.
gold,
Shandong
Shandong gold. Yeah,
Gold
yeah, yeah,
was
yeah,
trying to acquire a gold mine in Canada,
yeah.
and for all intents and purposes, the transaction had gone through, and then the Canadian government shat on everyone by pulling a national defense argument. That's basically it.
Yeah.
Where
I
is
mean,
this?
to
Where is
be
the mine?
fair, uh,
Nunavut or Northwest Territories?
no, I think it's in Nunavut.
Oh Jesus!
I think I need to check, but the only positive thing, I mean, it's positive, but it's kind of a poisoned gift. Like, okay, they got a better deal right now, but um, the ones who bought it said that they would need to do more studies and stuff like this, so there won't be any infrastructure or investment in the region for at least 2 years. So I'm like, see, like this is still not done. Like they bought it, unsure you'll see anything in the next 2 years. So I try to explain to the guys like, you might not like having to deal with the Chinese, but if they said they're going to develop something, they will do it because they have the power of the state and they have pockets much deeper than you, and they will do it. And
Yeah,
especially for this, like gold, like it's for. It's just they need to acquire gold for gold research purposes, so they don't really care about profitability. And since they're SOE state owned, they don't need to care about profitability. They need to care about extracting the actual resource. That's all that matters.
yeah,
So I try to explain like, okay, this will block it, but we bought Nuctech, like the logic of accepting and blocking is just from the part of the Canadian government is just I'm trying to find a good qualifier. I mean,
it's
it's in
suboptimal. It's
it's
suboptimal.
it's very suboptimal. I was like, you're just trying to piss them off or like to retaliate. But like keep in mind, like although we're not one of their biggest market and vice versa, which is, I mean, it's fair. We need their money more than they need our things. So, I mean, and developing the North is always like the Canadian government talk about it all the time, but like, come on,
Man,
we don't do shit. We don't
man,
do shit.
ain't nobody want to develop the North, man. Bro, there's the sheer logistical nightmare of getting stuff there and like survival is just, bro. I don't, man.
I'm dying to see if in 2 years they will actually start to inject money for infrastructure. I'm dying to see this.
Bro, they just got to sell it to one of the dudes on a Gold Rush. That's what I got to do.
Oh, bro, bro, Parker will go and mine the shit out of that place like a beast. Oh
Oh,
man.
what else? Any major
Well,
investigations happening?
oh, bro, except Lai Xiaomin that we're still waiting on a commuted verdict. Unclear right now. Unclear. Some people are expecting him to actually be sentenced to death.
Um,
Yeah. But
But
I don't know if he will. I think it's going to be commuted at some point. Although there was one other dude that I found had a similar story that he was also sentenced to death, and that dates back to 2016, and he hasn't been killed yet. So, I mean,
are you sure
he
he
could,
hasn't been killed? Are you sure?
yeah, he hasn't been killed because otherwise, I mean, they would let you know when he died because they're really precise on date, time, and hour. So yeah, but bro, even when people jump, they when they fall off buildings, like even then, time is very specific. Like, oh yeah, he fell off the building at that time on that day. Like, man, that's his. Wow, very very specific for an accident.
I'm just gonna give Lai Xiaomin a fucking suspended death sentence. He's too valuable, man.
Oh yeah, he's really valuable. But if you're talking about like let's say more investigation, you have the dude from Guangdong, for example. But these are small time crooks associated like with Zhu Mingguo, who used to be there. But these are like maybe more or two specific cases for the podcast purposes.
Overall, I mean, so far, not that eventful of a January, I guess, compared to last year.
We could talk about like yeah, let's say Sino US prospects a little bit more
Oh man,
because this is
yeah, 2 days. 2 days. Well, the podcast is gonna be up on the 19th.
yeah, but like already restriction for Taiwanese. The restrictions are lifted by Pompeo on Taiwan, so that's like whoa. You know that they're just trying to do this to like shortcut the first 100 days. They're doing everything they can right now to force Joe Biden to either backtrack on some things, follow through on some things, or trying to just untangle the shit they're laying at his feet.
Yeah, but it's also helpful for him because now like Pompeo has given him so much ammo.
Oh yeah, but I was talking with my friend about this Taiwan thing, and people, some it's very polarized. Some people are seeing this as a blessing, like okay, finally, the U.S. is kind of admitting they want to help, and some people are saying like this is not going to be good for uh, cross strait dialogue. This is really going to be bad, especially if we're trying to have more of trade deals or investment opportunity. This is going to be very bad. So it's really, really polarized right now. Some people say that they're doing this, but they're still not really willing to talk about the trade deal with the US, like Taiwan US. So it's like, or it seems like they're not doing this for Taiwan specifically,
Of
but
course,
they're only doing this to spite Beijing. And I
yeah.
was like, yeah, you're probably right on that. They're probably just doing that just to taunt, just to bait Beijing. And again, to be fair, and I was mesmerized because they haven't responded officially yet. Although, I mean, two or three dudes from the Global Time and Xinhua was like, "Oh yeah, the response will be terrible and stuff like this." Like, I don't know. I don't know. They haven't really issued an official statement on that specifically, so I don't know.
I
And that's actually good that they're not responding.
mean, for Taiwan should just understand that like it's just a bargaining chip, right? No, neither China, like the U.S. will never do anything that fucking purposefully is good for Taiwan. It has to be good for Taiwan, but also it has to spite China. And if in the course it is good for Taiwan, that's like a byproduct, right? It's not. They're never gonna fucking do anything that's just purely good for Taiwan. Like
Some people are very optimistic.
like the military equipment they sell them is even just fucking subpar U.S. shit that they don't really want. So, it is
Yeah,
what
but
it is, man.
yeah, but between that and Chinese military equipment, I mean, I think I would take discarded U.S. equipment.
Yeah, but to be fair though, if you think about it, the U.S. shitty U.S. equipment has taken out more Taiwanese generals than the PLA.
Oh man,
That's true. That's
that's
true.
that's very true. Very very true.
Yo, those
Very true.
Blackhawks are mad dangerous, bro.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I think the Chinese are only good for simple extractions. But and let me add, simple extraction on their own soil.
Hey man, it's
For example, like when they got Xiao Jianhua from Hong Kong.
oh yeah, and even that was like it wasn't done in a sneaky way either.
No, it was. I think I saw pictures of that at the beginning when it happened. Like people when they got him into a van. So it wasn't really
I
like,
think they brought him on a wheelchair, so they probably sedated him.
ooh, like he was like, yeah, like he was hard to handle.
Ah, okay.
Uh,
I mean, I think that's pretty much it. We'll I hope hopefully there's more coming in the next like 2 weeks that we can talk more about. But
sure, and if there's something more interesting, we can always go back next week. We'll see how it goes.
all right, I guess that's it. That's it for this episode.
Yeah.
All right, ciao.
Ciao.